John, the last book of John, John writes to Gaius. And as he writes this letter to Gaius, one of the things that I see that I embrace with so much tenacity is certain words that John said. Because I believe that we're living in a time people is not seeking truth. They're just seeking what sounds good. Don't mean it's truth. It's a truth, but it may not be the truth. Yeah. And people are looking for things rather than God. Yes, and I'm not knocking that because I like things. I ain't got no problem with Gucci, Prada. I ain't got no problem with some of the best dress clothes you can get your hand on. I just got a problem when you get dressed up and you're nasty inside. Yeah. Because I don't care how dressed up you are. If you nasty inside, then you're not healthy for people. You can't get dressed up and be nasty. Yeah. Yeah. David said, created me a clean heart. Yeah. But he went on to say, renew the right spirit. Sometimes our spirit ain't right. And it's not right because we blame others for the way we are. And we think other people is picking on us. And John writes this to Gaius, and one of the things he says in chapter 3, verse 1. I don't want to start at the beginning. I'm just going to pick up right in the second book part of this verse, and it says, Beloved, I wish. Somebody say, I wish. Now, I need some fire in the chat this morning. I mean, every time I say something, I don't know, can y'all do it, but throw a little air stick or hand somewhere, say, I wish. That way when they read, they know I'm making reference to a point I want to make. Mm-hmm. I wish. Somebody say, I wish. I wish. Now, he say, wish that. Don't mean gonna happen. I got somebody say, don't mean gonna happen. But it was his wish. It was his desire above all things. I wish above all things. Yeah. We just talked about Ephesians 3:20 that God is able to do exceedingly above all things. Mm-hmm. All things. And it's the word where we get the word hupapanta. That means that whatever he have done, he can go further. Mm-hmm. That ain't all he can do. Yes. Hupapanta means that all things. And so when God get ready to do something, he can get further than. Then we dealt with exceedingly, which is hupa ex perisua, which means hoop above, ex mean out of, but that ex actually means something intensified that's already going on. Mm-hmm. Perisua means exceedingly, exceed that, more than was necessary. So in other words, God can do exceedingly anyway. But out of who he is, he can do exceedingly more. So God is telling us he's a God of excelling. Yes. You cannot stay the same dealing with God. Yes. So those words tells us that our asking, our thinking will never ever get in line with God's will until we start asking above what we're asking. God is not limited because he's infinite. You are finite because you look at things, and we are subject to our five senses, and so our sensory perception sometimes dictate what we can do and can't do. So a lot of times, we are moved by taste, touch, smell, and all those good things, but God is able to do exceedingly above all that we may ask. Somebody say ask. Now, when you start asking, just remember, you're not asking on the level of what God can really do. Mm-hmm. You're not asking on that level because whatever you're asking and you're thinking is not on that level either. So that means that to think on the level that God wants you to think on, you can't do it naturally. Mm-hmm. Somebody say you can't do it naturally. That means if you're thinking on a level, it's got to come from God according to the power. There's a power that works in us. That power is God working in you. So it's in him you live. It's him you move. So there's a time that when you get ready to think and you start asking, just remember, you're going to start finite. But you have to move and trust the infinite God. And when he starts speaking, it's going to blow your mind. Yeah. Because you'll go somewhere and look at something, and you'll, in your natural mind, you'll look at this because you realize it's inside of what you can manage. God is outside of your ability to manage it. And the reason he don't want you to always have the ability to manage it, because now your faith is not necessary. Because when we get in places where we can manage certain things, we stay in what we call comfortable. Yeah. We get real comfortable. We got what we want, so we satisfied. But God said, I'm not satisfied. This is not all I want. There's more I want, but I need you to want what I want. So for you to want what I want, I'm going to put it in you to want it. I'm going to put it in you to ask for it. Now, when you start asking and you start wanting it, be careful with your people around you, because now you're attracting your haters. Yeah. The problem with all of us, we want more, but we're distracted by our haters. Yeah, yeah. I ain't got nobody to shout for me right there. Yeah. You let your haters start talking about, well, they got the big heads. You don't know my head. You ain't in my head. Right. And my head was small, you didn't have a problem with it. When my head was down here drinking with you, you ain't never said nothing. When my head was down here giving you my money, you ain't said nothing. But as soon as my head started thinking right, and I started thinking on the right level, now you start talking about me. And because I'm still on the level of a finite person, I let it bother me. But if God put it in you, come on, talk to me here. If he put it in you to ask, he put it in you to think, what you got to stop doing now, watch the noise around you and make sure you only listen to the noise that sound like God. If it ain't sounding like God, please don't listen to it. I never ask people what I'm doing. I ask them how to do it. Because when I got the vision, you were asleep. See, a lot of times we get the vision and go ask somebody else what they think. Yeah. I would never ask you what you think. I care less what you think, because I really don't know why he showed it to me, but I know he did. Yeah. What I want to know for you, do you have anything to help me with what I want done? Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't have any how to, please be quiet. Exactly. Because I don't need you to hear what we can't do, because you're basing up on your finite thinking, and I'm dealing with a divinity God that is giving me something outside of the range of what I could even accomplish. And the reason he gave it to me on that level, because he wanted my faith to shift. He wanted to bring your faith to another level. Yeah. Now, Brother Kent was talking about that with Lazarus, and I don't want to get into this because they had an expectation of Lazarus, of Jesus, because of Lazarus' relationship with Jesus, and they thought that because they had a relationship with him, they had the right to demand him to come. But Jesus decided to wait. Mm-hmm. Jesus held himself up for 4 days. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was evident they didn't believe he could do it anyway, because if they thought he could do it, why did they bury him? Y'all ain't heard nothing I say. If you really believe Jesus could do all that you thought he could believe, you never would have buried him, because the woman that had the child that fell and died, when she went to the prophet, she didn't bury him. She left him in the room. She went and got the prophet and came back and said, now don't lie to me. I told you that if you don't give me nothing and lie to me. So when the prophet comes, she hadn't wrapped him up. She had him laying on the bed. Somebody better talk to me in this morning. And she said, you're going to do something about it, and I ain't leaving. And look, you ain't sending me nowhere. You came by my house, you going back to my house. And she brought him back, and he got on top of the child and sneezed a couple of times. The baby got up. Can I talk to about 5 of y'all for a few minutes? See, a lot of us done wrapped it up because you don't believe God can do no more anyway. I said, a lot of us have already put the stone in front of it because you don't believe God can do no more. But I come to tell you, God can do more than you think he can do. And first of all, you got to understand, just because you got expectation doesn't mean that you're going to move God. Yeah. Your expectation is not to move God, because God deals more with just what you want. He deals with prophecy at the same time. Because there's other things that got to be done while God helping you. You say, what do you mean by that? Well, when the sincerity soldier came to Jesus, the Bible said he was the one that called Jesus to move. But the woman that had this blood stopped it. Yeah. Sometimes your miracle is just waiting on you to wait on it. Y'all don't hear me up in here. So when the centurion soldiers say, well, look, Jesus, I need you to come go with me and all that good stuff. But at the same time, you got to understand that what he's trying, not the centurion, so the woman, the girl that was sick. And he said, look, the woman had this blood, said, well, why are you on your way? Stop by here. You ever just had God to stop by while he was going to somebody else? Yeah. Can I help you? Many of y'all got a miracle. He wasn't even coming to you. I said, many of y'all got a miracle. He wasn't coming to you. Many of y'all got blessed. He wasn't even heading to your house. And you got nerve to talk about the person that called him. You didn't call him. You just met him. Y'all don't hear me up in here. The sister that called him, she get hers last, but you talk about her because you got yours first. But I come to tell you, but if it hadn't have been for her, the first person, the second person wouldn't have got theirs. Well, that's why you ought to turn around and say, thank you for calling him, because if you hadn't have left, I wouldn't have got what I got anyway. See, we got to get out of this stuff. We got to get out of this stuff that I did. Is you ain't done nothing. You just happen to be somewhere where he was coming because he was coming for somebody else. Because you don't get up that early to pray. You ain't gonna get up there. You ain't gonna fast that many days. You ain't gonna push back from the table. See, that young lady already knew she wanted a miracle, but this other person went and got him. Some people want miracles, but they won't go get him. But somebody God will use to go get him just to reach you. Oh, somebody better preach with me this morning. Yeah. Now, I ain't mean to take that rabbit trail, but he said, I wish above all things that thou what? Prosper. So we like the word prosper right there because that sounds like you're going to give me some money. That sounds like my pocket going to grow. Now, in a lot of sense, what he's saying here, you're going to be fat. Tell somebody, I'm going to fatten up. But you got to finish reading the scripture, though. You got to finish reading the scripture. Like they say, the scriptures. You got to finish reading the scriptures. Because may it prosper, and what about be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So, first of all, you're not going to prosper till your mind get right. So I say you're not going to prosper till you get your mind right. See, I don't care how hard you work, but if your mind ain't right, your work ain't going to get you a little money. But if you get your mind right, your mind going to get you everything you want. Yeah. Even as thy soul, somebody say soul. Now, I don't want to get into the word soul, the word suke in the Greek. And it's actually your will and desire and all of that stuff. Move me one more time. I want to play with this just for a little bit. And it says, for I rejoice. Somebody say rejoice. Now, he don't just rejoice, he rejoices greatly. Somebody say, shout greatly. Shout greatly. I dare you to say greatly. When the brothers, the saints, came and testified of the truth. Somebody say truth. See, a lot of people listen to stuff, but ain't no truth in what they're saying. They hear all this stuff, but ain't no truth. You know it ain't no truth, but you don't want to say nothing. The truth that is in thee. A lot of us got truth, but it ain't in us. A lot of us got truth, but it ain't in us. We got stuff in our heads that's forfeiting our truth. The truth that is in there, even in as thou walk it. Somebody say walk it. Now, you just can't hear truth. You got to walk in truth. A lot of us know truth, but we ain't walking in it. A lot of us know to love people, but we don't love people. A lot of us know to give, but we don't give. A lot of us know to tithe, but we don't tithe. He said, I rejoice greatly when I hear that, number one, you know truth and you walking. Somebody say you walking in the truth. Keep reading, keep going. Keep reading, going. And he said, I have no greater joy. No. All the joy in the world, all of it. He said, I have no greater joy than to hear. Somebody say, hear that my children. Somebody say, my children. Watch this here. Walk in truth. So one of the greatest things of a father is knowing that his children is hearing truth. Somebody say truth. Now, I want to give you a quote come from Albert Einstein. Somebody say Albert Einstein. He made a quote and he said this. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life common attraction. Imagination is everything. It's the preview of life common attraction. That means that when your imagination starts moving. See, one of the things that we got to learn to do is start to imagine ourselves out of situations. We got to imagine ourselves being the CEO. See, if you can't think on that level, you can't get on that level. Yeah. Yeah. The problem with people is they want to be on one level, but they keep thinking on another level. In other words, if God said it's going to happen for you, it's all right for you to play with it in your head. Because when you get it in your imagination, then you ponder it until you get it in your heart. Then you get it in your heart, you speak it out of your mouth. Yeah. And once you speak it out of your mouth, then you put it into action. You let your words come into action. Yeah. Once those words is put into the atmosphere, now those things start happening and other people get involved. If you don't speak a thing, nobody know what you're thinking. I don't care how quiet you is. You got to shout loud. Yeah. Don't get all quiet on me now. Because if you that blessed, holler when I talk up in here. Yeah. See, a lot of us, and I don't know what's happening to us. We starting to get to the point where we just don't shout until something tickles us. Yeah. I don't need nothing tickle to make me shout. I just need to hear his word. Every time I hear his word, I just start getting happy. Because this is how I got here. I didn't get here no other way. Nobody give me nothing else. I didn't have the education. I didn't have the support. I had the word, and the word has brought me this far. And if it can bring you this far, I know it can take me the rest of the way. Look at somebody say, I'm on my way now. I'm on my way. And I'm going to speak it like Brother Sykes. Speak your way out of this. Speak your way into it. Speak your way around it. Speak your way. Because God needs you to speak a word over your life. Speak it over your family. Speak it over your wife. Speak it over your church. Speak it over your church. Tell your church they're successful. Tell your church we going to do this. Don't back down. Don't look at what they don't have. Look at what the God you serve. What people don't have is evident God can use them, because if they had it, they ain't going to use it anyway. You need a people that when God blessed them, they got a testimony that God did it. Well, if God did it, they don't mind releasing it. But if they did it, they ain't going to give it to you. Because they think it's theirs. Yeah. Look at Job 36. Somebody say Job. Not Job. Some of us need to look at Job, not Job. Job 36. Give me amen when you get there. All right then. I'm dangerous today. Amen. Sometime I get in all this stuff, boy, I be at it, man. God Almighty knows. Job 36, what verse I told you to go to? I didn't? Well, it's verse 11. The reason I didn't say nothing, I know y'all know this by heart. Now I want you to look at what Job said. Now, you know Job went through a lot of stuff. So if anybody y'all listening to is Job. If I went through what Job said, if I had been through all that Job went through, ain't nothing Job said, I wouldn't sit at his feet. That's right. We sit at people's feet. Excuse me. We sit at people ain't been through nothing. Why are you sitting there listening to somebody ain't been through nothing? Why is you even trusting somebody ain't been through nothing? We bypass people that got proof it can be done to listen to somebody with theory about what can be done. Won't you find somebody that know that God can do it and they have proof that it can be done, but we bypass them people to get to somebody just making noise. Find you somebody that got proof that God can do what he said. He said, Abraham, this is what I'm going to make you. Abraham said, I don't even know what you're talking about. He said, well, let me show you what I'm going to do for you. See, our problem is we're going to listen to people because they sound well. They got all the right colloquialism. They got all the rightly saying. We're going to the next level, the next atmosphere. Paul said, I went somewhere, I don't know where I went, and I don't want to go back up in there. There's some places you ain't taking me. I got enough problem on this level. And so what we need to learn to do is find people to bring a balance of what God is saying to us. And you can't always get it from people just talking about it, read about it, studied about it. I need some people that didn't just read it, but God done did it for them. So when you go through some of your hardest time, you got somebody can tell you, baby, don't stop right there. Don't you stop right there. I know it's tough, but I've been there, done that. Right. God ain't gonna forget you right there. See, that was times in my life that I didn't have people to go to because I had nobody understood it. I wound up going to Texas to talk to a man that could help me get where I'm at. See, sometimes there's people in your life, you might meet them one time. You might not have to meet them again, but you need them at that time of your life. And don't matter where you go in life, they are the reason you are where you are. Whether you ever talk about them again or not, you needed that moment in your life. Tell somebody, I needed that in my life. I know I'm preaching good. I ain't going to even ask you if I'm preaching good. Now, verse 11 say, if they, that's condition, if they obey, and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity. Somebody say prosperity. Spend their days in prosperity. You know how many people got money and they got prosperity, but they ain't got the next part of their verse? They ain't got the next part of their verse? No. They got the first part of the verse. They working hard for money, but look at the next part of the verse. You just worried about days. But what the next part says? Years. You got years, mama. Why are you worried about a day? You got years to have pleasure. Yeah. God ain't giving you prosperity for a day which you won't live for years. In other words, what he's saying is, I'm not giving you just for the moment. I'm giving you for a lifetime. So when things go crazy, I want to make sure you still have pleasure. Yeah. See, when you get old, you ain't got to stop having fun. Come on. Just because you hate it don't mean you can't hit the bed at night. Well, I better leave that alone. Just people tell me, say, well, I'm done. I done done. Baby, quit being done till he tell you. That's right. What you done with? No. God ain't through with you. Right. Just because somebody walked away don't mean you need to be done. You might need to be done with that, but get ready to be moved with something else. Do you know your greater is yet to come? Right. Do you know that God got something that's going to blow your mind? Yes, you think? Yes, sir. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. You thought them arms was good, but watch them other arms grab you. See, we just lock people down. We think we had the best. We think that's all God. No, sometimes God moves people out of your life. And when he move them out of there, he moving somebody in there. Yeah. And he moving them there because what he calling you to do, I ain't got no help. I'm at the wrong church. I supposed to been in Texas this morning. And they shall spend in pleasure. Somebody say pleasure. Yeah, what is pleasure? Enjoying yourself. Right. All you do is fast, pray, and lock up. Oh, Lord. And then you want to know why you can't never talk to nobody. You ain't never available. Baby, I fast and pray and stay available. Yeah. I want to know what's on that end. I want to know what the next restaurant is. I want to know the next movie out. I do stuff. Some of y'all don't do nothing. You want to know why nobody ain't coming? You born. Ain't nobody want you. Nobody want nobody ain't doing nothing. I know you pray and I know you fast, but do you have fun? That's right. Ooh, Lord, anything God wants you to do, baby, he don't got you do it. That's right. But he might be holding you back so you can enjoy it for a moment. Yeah. We don't enjoy life. We look around and all we do is fuss. Mm-hmm. Well, ain't nobody coming. Go! I was looking at France the other night. They got a black part of France. I think I'm going to look at it. All the black folk over there, that part of it. I don't know if I got to run, pray, or whatever, but I'm going. Natchitoches ain't the only place in the world. And I'm sick of Texas. I'm sick of Florida. Somebody say, you want to go to Florida? No, I ain't going to Florida. I'm sick of looking at that beach. I'm going to see something I ain't never saw. I want to die talking about I went to Texas and Florida. When I went to Alaska, that was one of the most beautiful places. I went to, what's the name of the part of Alaska? Not Skagway and all that, but the big town. Anchorage. I went to Anchorage, some of the most beautiful flowers I ever seen in my life. And I ate what they call, it was a fish, they fry it. I forgot the name of it, but I went back to get me another piece. But when I went to Anchorage, it was so beautiful. And you know, when you live in small places, you think small anyway. And sometimes God got to move you out of where you at to think bigger. Natchitoches ain't the only place you're going to ever see. No. Go somewhere to make you dream. That's right. Go somewhere that challenge your prayer life. That's right. See, your prayer life don't, and I said this last week, your husband don't need to pray a lot to take you to Texas. Okay. You always want to go somewhere, but where you going, he can get that out of his front pocket. In other words, put him on a trip where he got to pray. He want to be the head, let him get in the head. Say, baby, put your big head out there and get us 30,000. We need to take this trip. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to France. I want to ride the boat. I don't want to paddle it. Somebody going to paddle it for us. Oh, you just want too much. Well, I don't want no more than that God wants for us. But if I listen to you, all we going to do is go to Texas. I'm sick of Texas. I ain't knocking y'all Texas people, don't get me wrong, but I can eat so many turkey legs and wings. I don't want all that. I'm tired of that. I'm going to go try some cuisine, some new food. I want to eat some French bread, some real bread. I want to go try it all out before Putin them tap the country. So spend your years. Somebody say year. So he ain't just talking about days, he's talking about years. A lot of us, when we start talking, we ain't got nothing to talk about. We talk about definitely one old day you had and you ain't done nothing in the last 5 years. Yeah. Well, we went somewhere 5 years ago. What's wrong with them other 4 years? Well, I had to be at church. It'll be all right when you get back. Church can do without you. You know what's wrong with all of us? We think nothing rolled without us. Well, where you was when it was there before you got there? Things roll without you. Problem is, you like an alligator. You won't turn it loose. So now you can't do nothing. I'm rolling me. Go to Joshua 1. I know I'm on it, so I don't know who this for, but I'm on it. I'm on it. And don't spend your life taking everybody else somewhere. What about you? You run all up and down the road taking everybody else's children and everybody else's family, but you don't never take you and your family nowhere. Well, I just go because your child don't like half the stuff you like. A lot of us live in our dreams through our children. Sometimes you just got to get away. One of my best trips was with Angel. We went to Chicago together. I said, Angel, you want to go to Chicago? She said, yeah. We shot off and went. I ain't know nothing about no Chicago. I followed her. Joshua what? Look at Joshua 1. Now, watch what he said. Now, in verse 6, I ain't got time to deal with all of it. He said, be strong and of good courage. Mm-hmm. For unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance. Mm-hmm. What? The land. Which I swore unto their fathers to give them. Yeah. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest what? Observe to do. Somebody say to do. You can't just sit down and do nothing. If I'm looking to do. I'm not watching TV or on Facebook just to be seeing stuff. I'm looking to do something. The reason I'm looking at it, I want to do it. Because the more you look at it, the more God will tell you what you ought to be doing. According to all the law, which Moses, my servant, commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou may what? There it is again, that thou may what? So we know that according to scriptures, God wants you to prosper. Yes. He wants you to be healthy. He wants you to have. He don't want you to be running around here begging, trying to kill pigs to raise money, killing chickens to try to build something. That ain't what God called you to do. Somebody else might have been called. You don't have that kind of time. That's right. Well, baby, we'll sell some chickens, not on this break. Right. We didn't kill no chickens. We ain't kill no pigs. That we did, we ate them. Nah. But we ain't sold nothing. That's right. That's right. If God can do it for me, he'll do it for you. Come on. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt what? Meditate. Somebody say meditate. Meditate therein. Therein, what about? Day. We don't do it at night. We do it in day. Come on, if we do it at night, we fall asleep. In the day, we fall asleep. So we don't meditate. That thou may observe to do according to all that is written thereof. For then, thou shalt make thy way prosper. What you want God to do? We waiting on God to do what he tells you can do. Well, I'm just waiting on the Lord. The Lord been passed by you. The Lord gone. He was somebody else. He can't get you out of that room. That's why he can't get you to do nothing. Why are you doing all that? You ought to be sitting to the table with somebody that got your dreams in their mind. See, our problem is we connect to people that can't take us no further.
Yeah. Yeah.
We with people that need you more than you need them. You don't know that, but you'll find out later that you didn't really need them. Because they wasn't putting nothing, all it was doing is giving you a word that you already read.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what you need sometimes, people are quick to give you a word, but they ain't giving you no money. Let me move on, because I ain't going to get no help here. Watch this now. Make thy way prosperous and have what? Then thou shalt have success. See, God tired of success. Everybody got that, but it ain't good. You could have success and still not be good success. You got all that stuff with a bad attitude. That's not good success. You got all that stuff don't do nothing for nobody. That ain't good success. Here we go. Then he says, have not I commanded thee? Now, first of all, God tell Joshua, I want you to be strong.
Yeah.
Now he's commanding him.
Yeah.
He said, Joshua, this is not me just talking to you lightly. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm commanding you, Joshua, be, shout it out. Be strong and of that word good again. See, you can have courage, but is it good courage? Be not afraid. There it is. And of be not afraid, be not dismayed. Neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord. I need you to shout right there. Pull that fire in the chat, baby. For the Lord. Your God is with thee.
Yeah.
Whithersoever thou goest. Whithersoever thou goest. Whithersoever thou goest. If I go to Alaska, he with me. If I go to Canada, he with me. If I go to Germany, he with me. Wherever I go, he is with me. Now, only if he commanded you to go.
Okay.
Some place you went on your own. That's why you're ducking. Because he ain't sent you to that club. The Lord that God is with thee. Where's thou going? Now watch this. Once he speaks to Joshua, then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days you shall pass over this Jordan to go into to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you to possess. Step into your greatness. Look at somebody say, step into it. He said, Joshua, I'm with you now. I got your back. Now he tells him to be strong. He said, be strong and of a good courage. And I was wondering, why did he tell him that? Why did he tell him that? If you look at Numbers 20, it would make sense to you. It don't make sense that God is coming from a repast of a funeral he just had with Moses.
All right.
The people already in grief. He goes to Joshua and said, Joshua, I know you're grieving. But these people grieving too.
Yeah.
Y'all can't stay here. Because the man that led you here, I killed him.
Yeah.
He let him know to my front. I got him. I took him out.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you why I took him out. And the reason he's telling Joshua to be strong and of a good courage, because he don't want to take him out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get this in a minute.
Come on.
Because see, some of us, God have to take us out because he can't use us. And the reason he can't use you, because you take everything too personal. Oh, man, we own this here. Somebody say we own it. And look at verse 9. He said, have not I commanded thee to be strong and of good courage? And I read that, right? Look at Numbers 20. I want to show you this because I think it's important. Because when you've been under somebody else, Joshua had never led before.
Yeah.
He led under somebody else's leadership.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of time when you're under people, you got a tendency to stick your head where you ain't got no business. You got a tendency to put your mouth on stuff you ain't got no business. You got a tendency to run your mouth when you need to shut your mouth up. See, leaders hear stuff, they just don't always deal with it. Because a lot of times you be doing stuff and you're always making little comments to people that working with you. Because you trying to get them to see something that they don't care nothing about.
Yeah.
I was sharing with a young lady the other day, I don't want my fivefold ministry cleaning this church. I don't want them cutting the grass. I don't want them doing anything that's going to keep them out of the word prayer. Because it's more important for them to be praying and being in the study of the word than be worried about some grass out there. I'm trying to get the congregation to learn that that's your responsibility to do the work of the ministry. But the fivefold ministry gift, they got to be ready for when God calls them. You can't be tired talking about I done worked all day. I can't go see about these people. You got to go whether you're tired or not.
That's right.
So one of the things my prayer this year is work all the fivefold ministry gifts out of any job besides preaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they call to lead something, let them find out what it is and bring it to the table so we can solve problems.
Yeah.
Because we need solutions in the time we're living in.
That's right.
While you doing all that, cleaning the building, cutting grass, somebody going to hell. So I'm trying to work them out of it because we need you all to be faithful in the word. Now I know it's going to be a season where you might have to, but even if you dare, find somebody you can give the keys to.
Yeah.
You don't need the keys if you got to pray. Now you can ride over and look, but you don't need to be driving. Fivefold ministry gift, this is a blessing to you. Because we need you in prayer. Because if you're not hearing from God, then you can't help us. We need you hearing from the Lord. Because we're living in some turbulence time. And we need people that know how to lay in the ship on a pillow and be asleep in a storm. Because they done heard the voice of God. But you can't hear God when you're mad. Dealing with issues that you don't have no business messing with. Somebody say, Pastor, live in me this morning. I'm in myself. Look at verse 7. Numbers 20, verse 7. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak you unto the what? Read it with me. And speak. Who talking? Who he talking to? What is he telling Moses to do? Talk to the rock. Talk to the rock. Talk to the rock. Somebody say, speak a word. Before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. He said, if you just talk to it, it'll do what I tell it to do. It already know what to do. Here's the problem. You don't know what to do, but God do. But the problem with us, when God don't do it when you want to, you get in the way. Now watch what he said. He said, speak to it. He said, now, it's going to give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So that thou give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Moses, somebody shout Moses, took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, hear now, you heathens, you rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand with his rod and smote the rock. Ain't nobody told him to do that. God didn't tell him to hit that rock. And the scripture says when he hit it, it was one thing to hit it one time. But he struck it twice.
Yeah.
I tell you something about you. You're apoplectic. And the Lord spoke unto Moses. And because watch what he tells you. He said, you smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly. Oh, they got what they wanted.
Yeah.
They got what they wanted, Brother Alvin. But they didn't get it the way God wanted it to be.
That's right.
We keep giving people stuff, but that ain't the way God wants them to have it.
Come on.
See, a lot of times we trying to force the issue and make the people be at fault when it's you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it ain't the people, it's you. Because you think it ought to go your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're going to follow God, you got to follow him all the way.
That's right.
You can't just decide somewhere in the middle of the road that God don't know what he's doing. Well, if he ain't know what he's doing, why in the world you told him you couldn't speak well?
No.
It's amazing when you grow up a little bit, you think you got an edge on God, so you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
All the other time you're dependent on God. Well, God, I don't talk too good. Can you send Aaron with me? And Aaron down there with his crazy self, he should have told Moses, you need to calm down. Look at somebody and say, calm down, calm down. You out of control. Ain't nobody told you to act like that. Oh, I know I'm preaching. Ain't nobody want to shout with me this morning.
Go ahead.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron, because you believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore you shall not bring this congregation into the land which I've given them. Moses, anger confused. Moses confused anger with strength. See, a lot of us, we think it's strength, but it's anger.
Yeah.
See, when we use our strength, we think, well, I'm just telling people. No, you angry. And you get in trouble every time. That's why he tells Joshua to be strong now. He said, Joshua, I want you to remind you something. Yeah. Moses got his butt in trouble because he took his strength and tried to make it look like he was strong, but he was angry. Yeah. Don't ever use your strength and act like it's strength and you know it's anger. When you angry, don't do nothing. The most dangerous person in the world is an angry person. Because when you angry, now you got to go back and apologize for all that foolishness. But it may be too late. God may not never use you again because he can't trust you. This is some good stuff. So watch this. Strength as the capacity for exertion or the power to resist force. Strength suggests powering through something. So when he said be strong, it suggests that you have the power to resist the thing. So he was saying, Joshua, there's some things you got to resist. Number one, your anger. Number two, you got to resist when people don't want to do something. Don't you try to force them because you're going to get mad. What you got to do is lead them. In other words, lead them, but don't force them. You can't make people do nothing. You can't make yourself do something with you lazy self sometimes. It's amazing when we don't want to do it, it's okay. When they don't want to do it, then they're being rebellious. Well, I'm going to sleep all day. They slept all day. You say something wrong with them. No, what makes you think you can't? They can't rest. Oh, Lord have mercy. 5 minutes left. Let me give you these. He said, be strong. Number one, strength is what? Pushing through a thing. The next one is courage. Somebody say courage. Now, they're going to be fast, so you're going to have to catch them, okay? Courage is defined as mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Courage is doing the thing that is hard or sometimes even scary. Courage is the moral vicissitude. That means that I have to stay balanced. When courage get involved, and see, strength is good, baby, but courage is better. Because strength can do a lot, But can courage balance you? Do you have the courage now to make an impact? See, courage is about making impact moments in people's lives. Courage is responsibility for the outcome of your life without blaming others, making excuses, or waiting for someone else to swoop in and save you. Courage is choosing to lead from both your heart and your conscious mind. Somebody say rather than letting your emotions hijack your behavior. Courage is admitting you were wrong, that you don't know the answer, and asking for help when you need it. Somebody say when you need it. Courage is holding yourself accountable. Courage is fostering a culture of empowerment where you are not always right or get to make all the decisions, even if that means things may get messy or feel out of control for you. Yeah. You know what's wrong with most people? When they can't control it, they got an issue with it. Yeah. I can be a leader and don't have to be in the front. But you got to have courage to let somebody else do it. Yeah. Most people don't have the courage to let somebody else do it because they get jealous because they think everybody else is giving props to that person. But remember, the job is getting done. Saul didn't have courage, so he decided to get mad with David. Yeah. See, when you don't have courage, anger come out of you every time. Mm-hmm. When you got courage, you embrace people. Yeah. Because you realize, I don't need to do it all. Mm-hmm. I have the courage to watch that young man preach. I have the courage to see that young man do great things for the Lord. Yeah. I don't have to be back here behind this pulpit to be your pastor. Right. I'm your pastor whether I'm back here or not. Mm-hmm. I don't care. George Miles outgrew George Miles Bible study outgrew her pastor of Sunday service. Yeah. But he never got in a fight with her. Because he realized what God had for her, it's nothing he could do about it anyway. Sometimes people will come in your church to help it grow, and you be mad because they ain't clapping for you. Well, is it about you or about God? That's right. Don't worry about it, because if it grow, you're going to get blessed anyway. That's right. I said, if it grow, you're going to get blessed anyway. That's right. I would rather sit back and drink my Kool-Aid knowing that I done trained you right than to worry about what people saying about you. David have killed, Saul have killed thousands, but David have killed 10,000. Well, David finna take my place. Can I tell you something? David could have took his place when he killed Goliath. If David wanted his place, he could have took him out. Because David did what he couldn't do. But he didn't have no courage. He had strength, but no courage. You got to have courage to lead people. You got to have courage to trust people. You got to have courage to let somebody do something and you don't get jealous of it. That's right. You got to have courage when other people can do it better, but it's getting done. I don't care how good you do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I don't care. I may not be the best preacher, but if you preach better, get them up in here. I just want them saved. That's right. Because I'm going to get paid anyway. That's right. That's right. It ain't taking your check from you. Dog it, I don't understand us, man. They ain't gonna call me to preach nowhere because I done got old and I'm straight up. I don't care about no Gucci, Prada, and all of that. Look good, but you broke. The bank don't know you. You ain't got nothing for the future. Everything you got behind you ain't got nothing in front of you. We don't talk to people that know how to put it before. Yeah. We talk to people that's wearing it every day. Baby, I like your shoes. How much money you got in your pocket? None? Go but take them shoes back. Courage is recognizing that watch this. Courage is recognizing that what you admire in someone else is also within you, just waiting to come out of Behance. That's what courage is. I see me in you. I'm watching you. I see it. We won't even say that. We'll get up and talk about Jakes, but not your pastor. You'll get up and talk about another preacher, you won't say about your pastor. You know why? Because you're trying to find a way to get further than him When at the same time, Jake don't even know your name.
No. That's right.
Hey, Pastor, all right, but he the craziest man I ever seen. Well, hold up. Let me hear before you say I'm the craziest man I ever seen. You look in the mirror. Courage is going through that place of hurt. Now, this is good. Courage is going through that place of hurt or disappointments inside you so that you can empathize with challenges someone else going through. See, that's the problem with us. We've been hurt. When we deal with people that are hurting, we can't empathize with them because we feel like we don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you have some disappointing days?
Sure did.
Didn't you have some days where it didn't feel good? How is it that you can't empathize with them? Why is it that you feel, because you done made it, you think they can't make it? Well, if you done made it, it ought to be evident they can make it. Boy, there's a lot of stuff, ain't it? Courage is trusting and inviting others in, even if it means that they could leave or disappoint you. Denise, how many people you brought close to you? You worked with them. They walked off and left you.
Yeah.
How many? And then they didn't just leave and walk off. They had something negative to say. But it's okay. Because courage says, I wanted to teach you. I want you to be better. See, that's what courage is about. Looking at people saying, hey, I know I'm risking something, but I would rather take a risk helping you than to sit back and not help you.
Right.
Because some people, it may look like you can't help them, but you'll be surprised later on. I had people stop me now that didn't stop me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but they stopping me 30 years later and saying, Pastor Gus, do you remember me? I say, no, sir. No, ma'am. You gave me a word. But at the time, they gave me some words too. They wasn't no good words either. Boy, they cut me up. But they remember though. Because when their life went through those cycles, they went back to the word that God has spoke through you to help them to the moment that they're in. Sometimes familiarity, people don't always listen to you. But when hard times hit, oh Lord Jesus, when hard times hit, they think on what you said. They say, I remember when Pastor Gus prophesied to me. Now, they ain't going to tell you nothing. They ain't going to let you know you was right. But when you do run across them, God sometimes keep people from making your ego go up. He'll let them pass by you. You ever been in a church service and somebody gave somebody a word and you gave them a word about 2 weeks ago, same word, and they ran all over the church behind that word, and you looking upside their head and say, you big dummy, you. But it's okay. What was important to me, you got it. You didn't receive it from me, you got it. And whoever it takes for you to hear it, I just want you to hear it. Because my dog in me is not to fight you. My dog in me is to fight to get a word to you. Quit letting the dog in you fight people. Let that dog get a word in you and get it to the people and say, baby, I just want to tell you what God said. But we got that dog in us, that bulldog, that we want to fight with people because they don't listen to us. You ain't ready to be listened to. You ain't proved it yet. You ain't proved it yet. You had some great battles, but there's some things in life that you have not proved, and don't get ahead of God. Wait on him and watch what God do with your life.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord, I'm preaching good. Courage is being willing to stand out, especially when it feels easy in the moment to fit in. When it feels good, when you can just fit in. But courage stands out. See, I can't fit in, but I will stand out in this moment. See, Cabernet, he stood out. He wouldn't fit in. Whatever reason why he didn't fit in, he stood out. Now, he got to the point where they blackballed him. He could never play he couldn't play again. But over the years, somebody signed him on one of the biggest, I don't know if it was Nike, Reebok. Somebody signed him, and they started to pay him.
Yeah.
See, when God wants you to do something, God will have you do something at a time that you don't want to do it. Everybody else be sitting down, and you be standing up talking, hey! And you be like, what in the world I'm doing standing up? No, it wasn't you. It was God standing up inside of you.
Yeah.
See, courage is loving and embracing all parts of yourself. The part that was damaged or broken, the parts that fail, the parts that don't look or sound like others, the parts we tend to keep hidden from the rest of the world, the parts that contribute to some of your greatest attributes. Courage is having those tough love conversations, even if you don't like to rock the boat. Courage is the willingness to see those you love as the remarkable human beings they are. Courage is the willingness to be seen without your mask and armor. Amen. I say, take it off.
Yeah.
Let somebody see what you look like. Because a lot of us, we don't really look like we dress on Sundays. Look at somebody and say, courage.
Courage.
Use you. That's what courage is. I'm going to close. There's a lot to cover, but I believe I've given you enough to go home and ponder on this. So when I get into the rest of it, you'll be ready to receive it. So we need strength, but don't confuse your anger with strength.
That's right.
We need courage. Courage starts from within. It's an internal, not external. See, courage deals from the inside. So when you don't have to react from the outside. When you reacting to everything out here, something in you is like the Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
the lion.
No courage.
He was great, but he had no courage. They say the lion is not the biggest animal in the jungle. The elephant is.
Yeah.
But because he think big,
Yeah.
it's not his size. It's his mindset.
Yeah.
You know why the lion is so powerful? When he see the elephant, what do you think he see? Hello? What he see? He see food. He see his family being fed. He see an opportunity to make sure everybody all right. See, when you start seeing things and it make you look at yourself small, that's when you started to deduct from you who you really are.
Yeah.
I heard this, and I'm a believer because the guy that said it, he's a very credible historian, a guy that studied a lot. He said the lion can be hungry. And as hungry as he is, Denise, he could be starving, but he would never eat grass. He won't. The reason be, he knows that he's not designed to eat it.
Yeah.
Quit filling your belly with junk food
All right.
that's causing your spirit to start disliking people.
Amen.
Fill yourself with the love of God, the grace of God, the mercies of God. Fill yourself with the peace of God. Every day you get up, ask God one question. Who am I? And when you find out who you are, go see what you can do. And when you find out what you can do, tell somebody I must do it.
Yeah.
Today, I want to encourage all of us. We on the precipice. We on the precipice. You know what a precipice is? Precipice. You know what that is? I don't. Okay, I'm going to help you. See, the problem with a precipice, most of us ain't going to never like it anyway. Because it takes us out of our comfort zone. See, right now, I'm not on the precipice. You know why? I got plenty of room, don't I? But a precipice is actually when you're running out of room and you get right on the edge and ain't nowhere else to go. So you don't have a lot of wiggle room. That means you have to be precise, Denise. You have to be very strategic now. See, back here, I don't. I got room to roam.
Yeah.
I can do a lot of crazy. You get me? But when you're on the precipice, you're on the edge.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of room to roam, so guess what you got to do? You got a plan. You need a strategy. It's like walking a tightrope. How many of y'all seen the Olympics?
Yeah.
When they got on the balance beam? She was on the precipice. She didn't have a lot of room for mistakes. When you get there, you got to make sure you done process yourself enough to know that I don't have a lot of room to make mistakes now because people are depending on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many of us are standing right there now. But you acting like you got all this room. And guess what's finna happen? You finna fall and nobody gonna never hear nothing else about you. You know why? Because when you was back here, you was hard-headed.
Okay.
You wouldn't let nobody help you. You wouldn't let nobody discipline you. You wouldn't let nobody guide you. So you just kept walking. Now you here and don't know what to do. So that's why when you get at the precipice and you at that point of greatness where God is getting ready to take you to something, the first thing you need is a strategy. You have to have a plan for where God taking you next. Because where you been, the plan you had is too small.
Yeah.
The strategy you use is not the one you're going to need for the people that God getting ready to bring to you. I prophesied to all of us today. It's time to go home, open up your checkbook, look at it, see where you're spending your money. You keep talking about all these status that you're going to have, where your seed from. If you can't plant the seed to the size of what you want, you're never going to get it.